What is going on, guys? Paul Ryan back at it again. I hope everybody's having a good night. We are officially one sleep away from NFL football officially being back. Of course, the NFL kickoff game being the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Definitely an exciting game, a rematch of the AFC title game. Love to see that. I don't know who I have winning in that game. I haven't really thought about it, but it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. At the same time, man, Ravens, a lot of people think they might be the best overall team in the NFL, but that's a discussion for another day. I was reading online looking for some any and all Cowboys nuggets to share with you guys, and I came across an article that isn't actually Cowboys focused, but it has to do with the Cowboys game, and it's by a gentleman by the name of Randall Gurzy. He is writing for a site, I believe it's Dog Pound Nation or DPD is what it was, represented by Fansided. I will make sure to leave the link in the article. And he had four bold predictions for the Browns against the Cowboys in Week One. And I got to say, man, these predictions are very, very bold. One of them being, I won't share all four. He did four. I won't share all four, but I will share the two that I thought were the boldest. Number two was Myles Garrett having 3 sacks. And man, I know that's a exciting matchup we're all looking forward to. Seeing how Cooper Beebe and Tyler Guyton do in their first NFL starts. I know it's kind of scary to think about Myles Garrett going up against Tyler Guyton, right, or going up against Terrence Steele. Kind of pick your poison there. That's a matchup some are excited for, some are worried about. But speaking only for myself, I'm excited to see what Tyler Guyton can do. I know Myles Garrett, man, the player that he is, the talent that he is, he's probably going to get his at least once or twice. But I'm sitting here thinking about it. It's like 3 sacks seems crazy, but for a guy like Myles Garrett going up against a rookie, going up against our offensive line that, again, is a work in progress that we're excited for, but it's only Week One. They haven't had a lot of snaps together. It's not that crazy. I mean, it's really not that bold. It really, really isn't. But his number one bold take for this game, Deshaun Watson has a turnover-free game, and man, that one I think is very bold because Deshaun Watson hasn't had a lot of snaps this offseason. He hasn't had a lot of snaps during his time in Cleveland. I mean, you think about how many games he's missed, how much of this offseason he's missed. To think that he would go up against this Cowboys defense, which I know is not going to be predicated on creating turnovers or getting turnovers, but or forcing turnovers, right? To think that he won't have one, I would think that he either had less than 20, I'll say 22 pass attempts, and the Browns ran it 30 plus times, and the Cowboys offense was just not on the field very much. It was like a very slow burn type of game where the Browns were kind of just running it down our throat, eating that clock. But yeah, that was very, very bold to me. I know it doesn't sound that bold, but to think again, for all the reasons that I mentioned about the lack of snaps for Deshaun Watson, going up against this defense where Cleveland Browns offensive line is missing a few starters. Now I know that Jack Conklin will be getting his start, but their left tackle is still to be determined. Jarek Wills, I believe, is his name. He has a chance to possibly play, but I believe, from what I understand, it's probably unlikely because they talked about one of his other bold predictions has to do with the offensive line. I won't share it. You have to read the article, but it has to do with the offensive line. So they still have to go up against the Cowboys defense. Our defensive line, I know that is kind of a work in progress, similar to the offensive line, but we still have Michael Parsons. We still have DeMarcus Lawrence and Osa Ziggy. And then you think about our linebackers and just our secondary. It's a solid defense, man. Probably going to be the strength of this game is what I would think. A lot of analysts seem to think this is probably going to be a low-scoring game. I know the over-under, I believe, is over 40, which is a solid over-under. I'm not a betting man. I'll leave that stuff to CD Piglet, but I think anytime an over a point a game a point total is over 40 or close to 45, that's considered a high-scoring game. But again, don't quote me on that. Yeah, so I just found that interesting. Again, not so much Cowboys focus, but having to do with the Cowboys. Wanted to share that with you guys. I would share a Cowboys bold call, if you will, for this game, but I didn't really have the time to do one. And again, I kind of just got the inspiration after reading this article, so I don't have one off the top of my head, but maybe I'll share that with you guys tomorrow. I do know if you listen to the podcast, we talked about matchups we're excited in watching in this game. And I was looking at blogging in the boys, and some of the matchups that we discussed in the podcast, they were talking about, matchups to look out for too. So that's always nice to know that you're on the kind of the same wavelength with people smarter than you. Outside of that, guys, that's all I've got for you. Again, I hope everybody's having a good night. I'm Paul Ryan. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.